Alright guys, Delzinski here, and this video is a bit different for me because it's not something that I planned and it's not something I scheduled, and it's not really something that I thought I'd be doing, but I've just watched the opening segment of Monday Night Raw and I've watched the Ultimate Warrior tribute which was made, and I just want to say that I think WWE did a fantastic job. Um, the actual tribute video itself was truly ultimate. It was amazing. And, you know, it was very heartfelt and it was very touching. It was a very emotional tribute that the WWE had put together here. Um, you know, before we cover that actual tribute video and the package that was put together, for the wrestlers that were on that stage, it was a very emotional experience. You could tell that by the way they were. It was a great and very nice moment that WWE had all the superstars wearing Warrior t-shirts, the fans in the crowd wearing the face paint Warrior masks as well. You know, WWE did this right, and you know, for somebody that had been away so long and in the wilderness and that had just come back recently and it felt like he'd come home, um, it was a huge shock, and it's still something I can't really believe now. I still can't get it in my head and register that he's actually no longer with us, because, the Warrior was such a big character. It was larger than life itself. You know, to me, the Warrior is not just a character. It's more than that. The Ultimate Warrior is not just a character, and the Warrior proved that. I mean, the the guy took the name Warrior and made it his name. It was more than just a gimmick to him, and you know, you could see by the look of the WWE superstars on the stage that, the Warrior has done a hell of a lot for this business, and his legacy will live forever. And the tolling of the bell 10 times, full credit to the fans in attendance for showing so much respect. It's truly deserved, but the fans deserve credit for making sure that it was done right. And as I say, for the WWE superstars, again, an emotional experience, but it definitely had to happen. And WWE, as I say, full credit to you for doing this the right way. I will note as well that for me, Triple H had a huge part to play in bringing the Warrior back to the WWE, but on that stage, Triple H really did embrace the Warrior how it should be done. And if you haven't seen the video yet, I urge you to go and check out the Warrior tribute from this Monday and watch Triple H at the end. At the end, when the Warriors music is playing, closing out this tribute, Triple H puts his hand in the air, starts rocking his fist, and urges the rest of those superstars on that stage to start an Ultimate Warrior chant. And for me, well done to Triple H there. I mean, that was something to not just get the crowd, because as I say, this was a very heart and emotional moment for the WWE. Vince as well. You can tell Vince. We've seen pictures of Vince and the Warrior at the Hall of Fame ceremony, so this would have been a big deal for Vince as well, emotionally, to be out there in front of the fans. And Triple H, you know, did something that I thought the Warrior would respect, and seeing him put that chant together, the whole crowd chanting Warrior, that is something that I'm pretty sure the Warrior will be looking down and thinking, thank you for that. And I'm sure he's up there right now, rattling those ropes one more time for us as this tribute happened. I mean, the tribute video itself, words can't really describe it, because it was that damn good. It really did bring out the essence of the Ultimate Warrior. It had the likes of Hulk Hogan Stephanie McMahon and Triple H all talking about what the Warrior brought to the business, the energy, the power, and Hulk Hogan, said it right. He said, the Warrior will live forever. His legacy will go on. And for me, it's like Hulkamania. Hulkamania will live forever, but the Warrior will live forever as well, because it will go hand in hand with Hulkamania, because Hogan and Warrior are two major cornerstones of the business. They're two superstars that really did bring a lot of people to go and watch WWE. And, if it wasn't for the likes of The Ultimate Warrior, I don't think I'd be the fan of wrestling that I am today. So, I mean, watching this package, seeing, these guys comment on what the Warrior brought to the business was great. And I think the most heartfelt moment in watching this tribute is the Hall of Fame itself, where we see segments of it, and I think the Warrior, he says the most awesome thing he will ever do is be a father to his two little girls. And for me, that just sums up the sort of man that he was. He was a family guy. And I still can't believe that he's gone, but ultimately I'm so happy that he managed to be inducted into the Hall of Fame before this tragic news. And I'm so glad that Triple H extended the hand and worked for 18 months to bring the Warrior back into the fold, because the Hall of Fame recognition was something that the Warrior truly deserved. And, because he'd had his issues all of those years, because he still had animosity between certain individuals, a lot of people thought this would never happen. I thought that the Warrior would never be recognized in the Hall of Fame, but he was, and it was right for this to happen. And that Hall of Fame ceremony felt like that the Warrior had got closure on a lot of issues that he'd had with the WWE. It felt like it had released a huge amount of stress and things that have been playing on his mind for years. Not just the DVD, not just the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, which painted a portrait of somebody that the Warrior is truly not. And, not just that, but the issues that he had with the likes of Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Jake the Snake Roberts. All of these issues that he had seemingly were buried at the Hall of Fame. We've seen pictures from Kevin Nash where him and the Warrior were hugging. We've seen tweets from Jake the Snake Roberts saying that, him and Warrior sat down at the Hall of Fame and, buried the hatchet and, ended petty squabbles that they'd had. And the greatest moment was seeing a picture of Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior standing side by side with two huge smiles on their face. I mean, two legends, two icons that for many years have not always seen eye to eye, but finally drawing a line and settling their differences in the right way by shaking hands and calling it a day. So, I mean, the Hall of Fame was awesome in itself. The minute I found out that the Warrior was going to be inducted, not just because he's so unpredictable. I mean, there were rumours that he didn't even turn up to the rehearsals in true Warrior fashion. But, that speech that he made didn't disappoint. It was a great speech, and it was a privilege and an honour to watch it. Guys, you may or may not have seen it. I don't want to harp on about this, but the DVD that has been released recently, The Ultimate Warrior, The Ultimate Collection, right a lot of wrongs. The Warrior, it's almost like a documentary style. The Warrior says that, the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior said that the Warrior never had any good matches. The Warrior didn't have good wrestling matches. This is what we've been made to believe. And, going and looking at WWE footage, which he did, proves wrong. And the Ultimate Collection truly shows that the Warrior is right here. He did have great matches. He did. And the likes of feuds with Ravishing Rick Rude, the Macho Man Randy Savage, one of the most phenomenal matches, if not my favourite match of the Ultimate Warrior's career, WrestleMania 7, the Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Ultimate Warrior. It was great. I would say it was better than even Hogan and Warrior at WrestleMania 6. It was that damn good. But that DVD has the Warrior's stamp of approval on it, and he says it that this was the DVD that should have been done because it was done in the right way. And you know, I'm glad that the Warrior got to do this. I'm glad that he got to come back and come home to the WWE and put those issues to rest once and for all. Now, as I say, you know, this video from me is not planned. It wasn't something I thought, it wasn't something I scheduled and thought I've got to do this, but I wanted to do it because ultimately I just wanted to sort of say thank you to the Ultimate Warrior for what he's done for me, in terms of me as a wrestling fan. I mean, if it wasn't for the Ultimate Warrior, I would not be the huge WWE fan that I am today. His character, his energy, his power, brought me to the game. He will never be forgotten, in my view and my opinion. And I'm sure that is reflected by a lot of the Warrior fans out there as well. I mean, as I say, it's not something I rehearsed this, but I think the perfect way to close this video is to quote the legend, the Ultimate Warrior himself. Because just last week, on Monday Night Raw, he was standing in that squared circle, and, it's still unbelievable to think that he's gone. So let's quote the man, and let's quote the legend. That is the Ultimate Warrior. Every man's heart one day beats its final beat. His lungs will breathe his final breath. And if what that man did in his life makes the blood pulse in the body of others and makes them bleed in something larger than life, then his essence and his spirit and the running that the man did will make him live forever. Thank you to the Ultimate Warrior.